Aloha. Been recently thinking about, well, for a while now, I've been thinking about the numerology stuff in relation to chakras and Tesla's quote about 3, 6, and 9. And I was just thinking about how our designs are from the physical realm, the lower bodies, this section right here, in relation to the higher bodies, opening up the heart chakra. This was in relation to the angels video that I did. Just trying to expand it a little further and lock it together with pretty much what we get separated from. So what energies we get separated from, because I speak a lot about how the separation program exists and what it does as far as destroying history, destroying the people, destroying our connections to ancestors, making us forget our connections. But I wanted to do this video, I guess, kind of quick because the information's already there, but I just wanted to link together the energy centers that we are, speak about consciousness a little bit, and a little bit of numerology, and then go into how they all kind of like marry up together, which is basically just the opposite side of the separation program, because this program is based upon flipping your universe. That's what the university system is, flipping your universe upside down and backwards and turning it into some kind of like chili cheese hot dog from Burger King or something, and tell you that's what your universe is all about. That's what the American dream is to turn your divine essence into a hot dog, an American dream, star-spangled banner, apple pie hot dog, the patriarchal program. And then you just eat it up at a baseball game, watching the game go by while these players get millions of dollars, and you just spent like 2 days worth of a paycheck, or 2 days worth of your paycheck on a ticket to go watch this game get played on this diamond. So in order to have masses of people do this, you have to be affected on the alchemical space, not just locking people down with logic, but you have to lock them down at their spiritual level. This is why religion gets activated so much so on every layer of control. This is why there is no separation between church and state. The Vatican City, Washington D.C., London, all these cities that are not actual cities. It's like DC is not a state. It's not even, it's like a corporation within a corporation of the United States. DC is, then you have these puppeteers who work, puppets and puppeteers who work in those in-between realms, thinking that you have freedom. No, we exist in the illusion of freedom under the laws of slavery. And these boxes within boxes within boxes exist to keep us from realizing our true potential. And our ancestors had already realized, and in so many ways had amplified and maximized our true potentials organically, naturally. They wrote it in stone, put it on the walls, built pyramids, built Machu Picchu, disappeared from ancient sites, went all over the earth plane, connected with the stars, wrote the connection to the stars in stone in sacred geometry here on the earth plane. The globe model being invented 500 years ago by the artificial university system was designed to keep us from realizing that truth, the truth of our ancestral gold, our ancestral divinity that exists with the no separation between you and the stars and nature itself. At its basic level, you as your spirit, as the body, the nature body, utilizing the mind that is activated or powered by the soul of the stars. So what are you before you manifest into this material realm? What are you as that spark of soul is coming together in the womb of your mother to have an experience here, to grow into, see, we get locked into the growth pattern after we are so-called born. And then we have our experience. That's where we get lost, because in that integration time frame, we are being downloaded with energies and information that only exist because on the distraction perspective, it only exists because our parents and our grandparents and the generations before us, that was their only experience. They had nothing else to plant their roots in. So your grandparents planted their roots in religion. Some of them still today, still going to the church, still praying to illusions. And you have some of you have parents, or some of you are in the age group which ran away from that religious box and now have really no root structure, connection to spirit, and you're really piecing that connection together yourself, trying to find out who and what you are. What is the spirit? What is the soul? What is this relationship that we have to nature? What is religion really trying to do when it starts talking about God and all that, without all the extra density that comes along with the state religion control grid locked in, weaved into the university system? When you go into these universities, these old universities, you'll realize that they're just churches. These are just old churches. The so-called education that you learn in these university systems, that's just reading from the Bible of separation. All of these so-called intellectual, logical books are based upon astrophysics, all the new science, all the science itself, the scientism science that has no connection to alchemy, which is the marriage between science and spirit. Because that's, if you're trying to understand the universe, you're understanding and overstanding yourself. You are an expression of the universe. So this is how the story gets told upside down and backwards to you, telling you, oh, your star stuff, everything that's in the stars is the same that's here, and inside of you, we're all, this is that magic spell they're telling to you on a fast food version. So that's why it's like, it's not their bad thing. It's like, it's not, we're not doing this, we're telling you the truth. They're just telling you 2% of the truth and having you fight within that program, just like you're focused in the physical reality, and then that's it. And if you can exist, if you give your power away, it's like running a 5-speed Lamborghini or something like that in first gear for your entire life. And then that's it. You just live in first gear. It's like, get the fuck out of first gear, man. It's like, no, everybody else is in first gear. I don't want to be weird. It's like, that's what's happening. It's like, you're a fucking Lamborghini. It's like, nah, man. If I get out of first gear, then I'll lose my friends. I won't be able to be successful. I'll do all this. It's scary outside of first gear. I'll stay in first gear forever. And then generations and generations like keep each other out of moving into the next gear, into the next shifting of consciousness for themselves. So first gear, as relating like to this image, is basically the fear complex, the lower chakra, the root chakra, the lower chakras, the root chakra being the center of your survival instinct and your emotion, your fear emotion, your earth connection, your primal energy, your security. This is how we are controlled in first gear. And second gear and third gear are your relationships, your sexuality, your intimacy, which is locked down by Hollywood, these artificial versions of relationships, these the beating down of the divine feminine, the amplification of the divine masculine, magnified, amplified into the race. The race, before there was racism, there was sexism first. And then that's how the control grid manifested into what we are experiencing today, to where people are just completely oblivious to, a lot of the times oblivious, like happy, oh, everything's okay, I'm just gonna be all right. And then extreme version of the new age program, nothing's wrong, everything is okay, everything is love and light and peace, and stop bringing all of this, there's nothing, everything is fine, okay? I'm a fucking unicorn. You're a unicorn too, but you're just vibrating in lower frequencies. Like, why the fuck are you yelling? Because it's just so bright and perfect and peaceful. It's like, man, if you don't shut that shit up, it's some bullshit. But that's how these gears are getting shifted. It's like everything is okay, everything is awesome. Like it's the Lego movie, like block program. That's what's going on. So these relationships get flipped upside down and backwards. Your kundalini stays dormant. And into your third gear, which is how I'm seeing how we manifest into this reality, is from the top down to bring the bottom up, to like root from your roots. But you come in as your maximum potential through your willpower, your fire. So what I was thinking about the other day is the triangle is your fire. So you can see the triangle in the root chakra. You can see the triangle in the solar plexus. You can see the triangles in your heart chakra. You can see the triangle in your throat chakra. You can see the triangle housing the Om consciousness in your third eye, and then all the way up into the lotus, which is all that is, like every essence. But your fire gets locked down on certain levels. So you have your fire, it's like on, off, on, off, on, off. And your fire centers get manipulated. So your willpower fire, your root fire, your relationship fire, every energy has a fire. That fire can either burn outward as your soul journey, or it can burn your reality as the illusion. If you turn that fire against yourself, or let that fire burn out to the 0.0001%, it'll never burn out. But if you let it burn out to a certain degree, like these bodies will be affected, and that's how you manifest sickness and disease, which plays into the medical, the so-called healthcare system, where they can profit off of it. So if you are locked away from your survival and your security of basic human needs, like you can't even get food, water, shelter, health without having money, then that's part of your fire that's taken away and locked into a control grid. And you have no connection with your maximum potential anymore, because your fire's put out. So how I was seeing it is the lower bodies, these lower chakras, your physical body, you can see right here on this side, physical, astral bodies, emotional bodies, and mental bodies, and casual bodies. How I was seeing this, it from a fire perspective in relation to Tesla's 3, 6, and 9, I was seeing the lower chakras as the first, second, and third gear as the 3. That's your physical reality. It's really your navel. Your navel chakra is the 3, the willpower, the fire that is anchored in the physical vessel of your sacral and root chakra. Your heart center being the 6, which is actually the bridge between the lower and the higher chakras. So inhabiting the capabilities, the potentials, the maximum potentials of the lower bodies, and being an actual bridge equivalent to the higher bodies. The as above, so below. That's what the Merkabah is in your heart. The Merkabah energy is in your heart chakra. This is why I say love exists forever, and this is the essence of your connection and manifestation of source energy. So love, forgiveness, compassion, self-esteem, the center of unstuck sounds of the subtle body, air element, the circulatory system, the individualized soul, the emotion of love. So the subtle body, the air element that is composed of the ethers and water. And yeah, so that bridge as a 6 in itself, and then the higher bodies are the 9. So the throat chakra is your soul voice. So that in itself inhabits an entire experience that you can relate to the lower bodies of the root, sacral, and solar plexus. It's a fire in itself. It's your throat fire. So you have the 3, and then the 3, and the 3, or you can combine the top 3 as just the 9 completely. This is just how I was piecing it all together, as far as realizing that the heart being the center, the 6, in relation to the 3, 6, and 9. And I'll get into it in a second, in a little bit, but this is how I was piecing it together, just to share it with people, because I'm still forever piecing it together in my own way. But I'll show how some other people, I don't remember the website, I think it's on that image that I'm getting ready to get into. But once we get into our fire centers of the third eye, the throat chakra, and the crown chakra, then that's when you're flying in your completion. You're flying in your higher space. And this is that floaty world that is forever connected, but it won't be activated until you root deeply into and clean, heal, clear your lower bodies. So you can fly in that space of the third eye and the throat chakra and the heart chakra. You can feel those energies, but there's a difference between feeling and experiencing. The New Age agenda, the New Age mentality is that's exactly what it is. It's a mentality, but this is not a mentality. It's a soultality. Like, you have to experience it. The only way you can activate and experience the soultality of it all, the entirety of those energies, is if you reconnect to the umpteenth degree to your root structure. You can't You can't really experience the fruits of nature if you have rotten roots or roots that aren't connected and to anything, or they're in some kind of commercial soil, some kind of miracle grow. That's what it is, miracle grow, with all the chemicals in there. And you can grow all kinds of food, but it won't be organic, and it'll eventually bite you in the ass later on. So this new age idea of the third eye and the unicorn consciousness and the fairy gardens and the gnomes and the mermaid frequencies and all this shit, all these channelers, this is what they're turning it into a mentality. Tapping into a mentality, because they don't speak on anything that is rooted in the physical reality or your now moment. You take these individuals out of these new age communities, fly them out to Syria, their fucking now moment will change completely. It will change completely. So that means that there's something being manipulated a certain way, a separation there. That's this miracle grow soil that allows you to grow fruits, but they will not be completely organic or rooted in the deepest layers of soil that you can go into. And you can't run away from that work. It might feel like you're doing some work, but you're still in first gear or second gear at best. You're not really activating your fire to its highest capacity. So that's how I was relating 3, 6, and 9 to the chakras and understanding those energies. But I'll get more into in a second. The next thing I was going into was the AUM consciousness, the energy. You can see people see this symbol. I just wanted to go over it for a moment, because some people didn't. A lot of people see it all the time and don't really know what it means. So, in understanding the experience as a whole, and built up this body being an expression of this energy in motion. So your energy in motion, and how this, I had to read it sideways, how this image is explaining it. Om is a sacred aum, or it's a sacred syllable in Indian religions, Hinduism, Jainism, I think that's how that is, Buddhism. It's everywhere though. Om pronounced in different formats as a long or overlong nasalized closed mid-back-rounded vowel. There are other enunciations adhered to in received traditions. It is placed at the beginning of most Hindu texts as a sacred incantation to be intoned at the beginning and end of a reading of the Vedas or prior to any prayer or mantra. So the Om frequency, that frequency is, how I'm seeing it is, if we are all vibration and frequency, then the ancients knew that frequency could be understood experientially in some kind of format, so we can put it into a sound, like translating sound into a language. Like this language, this symbol is a language in itself of your entire experience. So at the top you have your pure consciousness, the essence, the soul that you are, the stillness, the unity, the never separating, the unchanging, the coming to rest, the soundless, Turiya. Then you have the illusion. So you can see this as coming into coming into the physical reality, born into the illusion, the Maya time. The Mayans were known as the ancient timekeepers. So the Maya ancient time illusion prevents us from realization of the highest bliss. Duality divides Taraya from states of existence. This is the illusion of that is the chess game that has been simplified into the checker game of politics and nationalism, capitalism, so-called democracy, the globe model, all this CERN stuff. Everybody's still talking about CERN. Fuck them. Fuck CERN and all that other stuff. That's you. If you still believing in CERN, you might as well be believing in NASA. It's the same shit. Let that shit go. And the only way you can let that go is to realize how much deeper the soul is. To realize that those assholes at CERN, those nassholes, same people, are creating another illusion. The first illusion was the artificial universe of the globe model. To tell you that you live on a globe, that the moon is right over there, and that the sun is way the fuck over there, and that the stars are way the hell out there, and that there are planets way over there, light years away, to separate you. Illusion. And then put wormholes in the mix to set the foundation for quantum physics and all this other stuff, and time travel and all these other distractions out there. Illusions within the illusions. So they can sell in the program of CERN. Because mind you, CERN was started in the 50s, the same time as NASA was being installed. So you think if they were going to install the first illusion, which is the NASA program, you think they wouldn't be installing the roots for the second program? This is what CERN is. So people still talking about, oh yeah, CERN is doing this, and CERN ain't doing a motherfucking thing. If CERN is an interdimensional portal, is a gateway, if that's what they're telling you, and you understand that your body, your actual experience, your human body is a quantum computer, then the artificial commercial grade so-called quantum computers don't even fucking matter. You might as well be comparing a calculator, a calculator watch, to a quantum computer. That's what CERN is in relation to the human body, the human experience. So it really doesn't matter. If you're talking about quantum computers, you're talking about the human experience. And if you're talking about the human experience, you have to go into the ancient technology, which is still manifesting as your human body. So what we're realizing today, CERN is to distract you from that shit. The Mandela effect, how I'm seeing it, in itself is the leaking of information from that quantum reality into our conscious experience. To be able to see, now that we are open to the fact that we are quantum computers, to be open to see that, oh shit, this is really happening. There can really be splits in our reality, but that's not happening from the outside in, from the CERN doing something to you in. You can see it from there, or you can see it from the inside out, your quantum computer out. Anything those illusory Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, Michio Kaku, CERN scientists are about, it exists in the illusion, the Maya. They're all in cahoots with their space program. You think they wouldn't be all in cahoots with this CERN program? This is what's going on right now. Creating another illusion, another version of Maya, another version of the illusory time grid. If you are separated from your sun, your moon, your earth, your stars, your universe, your consciousness will experience a shallow version of time itself. That is that illusion, knowing that you are the pure consciousness. You are the soul. To get you trapped into that illusion, the next gear that needs to be installed is the quantum age. This is why you have these astrophysicists and these quantum physicists out there telling you, pointing you at you in your face, telling you, we're doing this. We're making giant fucking computers and giant machines that are crashing protons or whatever. We're crashing energy and we're making stuff, okay? We're doing this. So if anything's happening with your memory and your consciousness, it's because we did it. We're the bullies of this universe. This is what's going on. This is what CERN is. And you already know CERN, China has like a mega CERN. Got like CERN 2.0. So this is the next, like I did a video on that, talking about the next race to space, the other space or something like that. It's back in the 60s when it was the race to the moon between the United States and Russia. Now it's the race to the wormholes. This is why Avengers is putting all this shit in there to scare the shit out of you. Like, all these monsters are going to come from other dimensions and we need Thor. We need Thor to come and save us. Where's Thor? We only got Iron Man telling you to vote. And the Hulk. They're creating another illusion. So this is the duality program getting more complex. Quantum complexities. All of these existing at the same time. Your dreaming state, your waking state, your dreamless sleep. All existing in the illusion of time. You never dying. Having an experience. So the illusion is where we get caught up. This is the first gear. I was explaining earlier. So the next space is your dreaming space, your soul, your middle, your preservation, the female energy, the balance of the feminine and the masculine, your dreaming space, your artistic, your everything, your curves, your circles, everything that is your right-brained experience. You can paint anything. That's your dreaming space. Your waking space being, this is in relation to the patriarchal program at the same time, and why your dreams really don't matter to the control grid, because it's all patriarchal. It's all about your masculine, your waking state. You don't need to be daydreaming. Hey, are you daydreaming? You need to wake up. There's no dreaming in there's no dreaming in baseball. There's no crying in there's no imagination. Shut that down. So now that we are reconnecting with spirit, with our souls, we are reconnecting with our divine essence, our divine balance. We're reconnecting with our dreams, our art, our music, our true harmonics, our soul. This is what the dreaming space is. And this is why I say a lot of the times it's so important to go into your dreams to reconnect to that reality and understand, start to interpret that space, because you're connecting with another part of yourself. So the waking state on the other side is the the masculine, the birthing, the beginning. This is why birthdays are such a big deal, and they're not really a big deal to me anymore, because I'm seeing more and more that every day is your birthday. Every part of your reality. This is why birthdays are such a big deal. It's like worship the physical reality. This is how we get such a complex with death and fear of death and fear of what else there is. And you can understand right now in this moment, the same protection, guidance, and the ancestral energies that were surrounding you when you were born into this, including the you that is the soul you, The same energy that exists before you actually sparked into this physical body will be there when you are getting ready to transfer out of this place in what is called death. There's nothing to fear there. Your angels, you, your higher self, will still be you. Even more of you as you transition out. The way you transitioned here, the choices that you made to transition here in relation to the stars, people understand them as their horoscopes, your time, your moment in time to manifest into this reality, is the same energy and the same contract, in a sense, that you will be a part of when you move out. It's not based upon the physical reality. It's based upon the energy of your soul. We only see it as a manifestation through our emotional grids as, this is what, happened. Okay, having multiple realities, multiple universes existing as your soul, as yourself, formalized as the centerpiece of the balance between all of those. You understand that you are your higher self as you are born here, so you will be your higher self as you transition out of here. There's nothing to fear there. Only in the waking state, out of balance reality, will we create this illusion of fear to fear ourselves, so you can give your power away to a control grid. That's another illusion within the illusion. So if you worship your beginning, you worship your birth, you worship the morning, the red morning. If you worship the body, you worship one balance beam. If you worship that and you don't understand everything else, then you will be left out to dry. And somebody else or something else will have to water you. This is what the control grid is. Pouring that fluoridated water, the illusory water, on you, drying you out over time with illusions, out of balanceness. Then your dreamless sleep, which is what I was just explaining pretty much, which is your idea of death, spirit, ending, destruction, Shiva, your winter. Your dreamless sleep, your transition space. It's still you. It's still part of this entire energy that you are. It's part of your experience. When you are maintained or told to fear that space, the same program that gets pumped around religion, God-fearing, or you're not a God-fearing, then yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to explain AUM in relation to our quantum computer and the experience as a whole. And then go into, this is the Tesla quote: if you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. The universe being yourself, who you are, your lower bodies, your 3, your third dimension, your 6th dimension self, your higher self as your heart, your bridge between the 3 and the 9. The 9 is completion. The 3 being your body, your soul, mind, body, manifested as the physical reality experience, all as one, is as the 3 in the physical reality, the third dimension. The 6, your heart chakra, as the manifestation of the 6th dimension. You can see the Merkabah being the bridge between the lower and the higher bodies, just as you are the bridge between light and dark in the visible light spectrum reality, the 0.005% of all energy having experience here thinking that's it. It's like, oh yeah, that's why they got to tell you the stars and everything is so far away. And in that 0.005%, they tell you also that this is where they slide in all this alien talk. It's like, oh, well, your answers, it's not you. You're not the quantum computer. It's got to be the aliens. They're smarter than us. This is another way of giving your power away so you can maintain another control grid. Or create another like Star Wars or Star Trek where you got to protect the fucking universe with the Starship Enterprise and Spock and Captain whoever. Captain Asshole. Blowing up stuff in space. Illusions. So 9 being the completion, which is the allness, the crown, your fire, the fire of completion. So you can pause it. I just wanted to share this as the bottom paragraph. I just came across this. Was another version of it. 6 represents balance between the powers of electricity, magnetism, and matter. So it's that bridge between the balances of the electrical, the positive, the masculine, and the magnetism, the magnetic, the feminine energy, and matter itself, nature, your material realm. The first multiple of 3 is 6, and you cannot have 3 and 6 without creating 9. Tesla's birth, death number seem to emphasize it. So all that, yeah, but I just really wanted to talk about the 3, the 6, and the 9 in relation to dimensions and electrical, magnetic, and the material realm as a whole. This is a more intricate version locking into the Fibonacci sequence. You can pause it too because I know the video is going all the way kind of long, but you can see how this is connected in reference to your bridge, your heart chakra symbol, this symbol right here in the center, in reference to your Merkabah and the Fibonacci sequence. So I forget which website this was on, but if you just look into 3, 6, and 9 on Google, you'll come across it and find it. But I found it pretty interesting because to amplify the balances of it all and give another example of it, and you can see how it's put together. There's a 1, 1, 2 becoming the 3, the 3 and a 5 becoming the 8, the 8 and the 5 becoming the 13, which is the 4, and the 4 and the 3 becoming the 7 and the 3 becoming the 10, which is a 1, the 8 and the 1 becoming the 9, 9 and the 8 becoming the 17, which is an 8, and all the way around, 8 and 7 to the 6, all the way around. And then you can see how the 3, the 6, and the 9 are connecting and creating this geometry, this sacred geometry that exists in nature, the spiral of life as nature, the day, the night, the life, the death, the positive, the negative, the in-breath, the out-breath. And all of this being frequency and vibration. On the bottom you can see the 64 hertz, 128, 256, 512, 1024. This is why the harmonics of your music is manipulated a slight fraction off of center mass to keep you in that out of balanceness, that sort of icky frequency, to so you can be confused, distracted, and controlled. And as soul groups and soul journeys that we exist as, you're going through time, through the infinity of time, experiencing time in these various vibrations. And the way your consciousness creates its reality, which is forever expanding, will determine the vibration of experience that you exist as. And when you start to vibrate at a higher vibration, your reality will shift. This happens individually when you start losing friends, eating better, thinking about new things, talking about new things. That's you shifting your vibration, and it's not necessarily relative to everybody that's around you. So yes, you will lose friends. Yes, it will be difficult. Yes, everything. It'll be tough. But that's the choice that you make to make the best out of your reality with your journey to actually live rather than just being alive in a stagnant sort of illusion. As we get locked into these lower vibrations, we are being locked into opening our vessels to those lower frequencies. And at I would say my lowest as in adult life, when I was still in my second time, because I went back at a gap in time in the Army, it felt like my best in the physical reality, because I thought I had everything that I wanted. I had my car, I had my girlfriend, I had my money taken care of. I had, my body was cool. I was running. I ran a marathon. I was like doing all kinds of stuff. Everything, I was taking it to the max, the physical reality to the max. I was a leader in my platoon. It was good. My company, everything was good. But I had no connection with my soul. I had no connection with my spirit. And I thought that was all it was. And I was celebrating it. And that's when I actually experienced sleep paralysis. At the height of what I thought the height of my everything was, that was actually probably the most fearful things that ever happened to me, to where I woke up, or I thought I woke up. I'm still in bed. I can't move. And it felt like there was 6 beings around me, 3 on each side of the bed, holding down this imaginary, like a transparent blanket over my body. And I couldn't move. I could not move. Like when you sleep on your arm and your arm falls asleep, my whole body was like that, but I was wide awake. And I couldn't move my head. I could only move it in fractions to where I could get a little bit of air in here and there. And it felt like I was being suffocated, and I didn't get any air, but I had this presence of these 6 entities around me, and I couldn't move. And it lasted for what felt like 45 minutes in actual time. And it was so much so that I got to the point of, well, I haven't suffocated, so I'm not dying or I'm not dead, but, and then I kind of just let it run its course after that. But the first, that was at the last 15 minutes. The first 30 minutes was, what the fuck is going on here? Who are these entities around? What is an entity? Like, what is this? I don't see them. I can just feel that. What is that? What is this transparent blanket that's over me, that's holding me down? Why am I being held down? What's going on? Yeah. So that's my experience with sleep paralysis. But this is what's happening on a collective scale. We are all in, like I said in the last video, we're in human shock. We're in a human sleep paralysis, being held down by our own energies, first and foremost, under the illusion of so-called powers that be, or outside entities. And I say it's because it's our own energies. It's because we are the ones that are creating this experience through time with our consciousness. And as we are allowing our consciousness to be subject to these lower vibrations because we are comfortable with it, because we've had so many generations who have been comfortable with it over time, the more access that you have to spirit, to consciousness, the more gaps that are going to be available for any kind of vibration to fill that space. And if you are constantly locking yourself into the artificial ego version of your experience, then that will be the miracle grow, and you will start growing poison apples. Your fruit will be a genetically modified fruit because you have limited root structures and Monsanto soil. So yeah, I just wanted to share that too, because that's another real thing. I never shared that on here. And of course, this is the manifestation of it on a collective scale, people being okay with this, voting on this, actually defending that this stuff exists, that they can pull you over. Like I said in 2 or 3 videos ago, the DMV being an illusion, made up, invented, not even being needed, which is a part of what this power grid has over us, this illusion of power over us. If we start to piece it together and piece it and remove these systems, then that will be getting our collective power back. You can do it individually by driving around a not-for-hire vehicle and all that stuff, but once we start amplifying this on a larger scale, it will start to affect our relationships with nature, spirit, each other, our culture, our ancestors as a whole. Because that's why the mainstream, the pop culture exists the way it does, to separate us from that. Yeah, to separate us from our understandings, our basic understandings of this reality. Our infinite space, the realization of the illusion, time, the separation from the infinite, disconnecting us from our dreams, our feminine, divine feminine energy, our divine masculine energy, the balance, the harmonics between that, the ma'at, true justice, true balance. Our conscious state is affected by the vibrations of television, technology, transhumanism, the maritime admiralty system, the idea of your name, who you are, who you think you are, all capital letters, your corporate representation, your social security number, your birth certificate, the soles of your baby feet on your original birth certificate, your soul being locked away on that birth certificate in the state vault, which you will never be able to get out of that vault. That's an alchemy. Locking your conscious, locking you away from your dream, your divine feminine essence, and then locking your conscious state away in the contract, the birth certificate contract. That's the soul spiritual slavery. And fearing your death, fearing your transition, which is just your birth, shutting down this whole AUM system. This is the alchemy of your separation. And outwardly, overtly, everything has to be stolen, turned into Las Vegas, some kind of fake version of it, what our ancestors were really tapping into. On the golden side of it, this is the plastic version of your spirit. These maritime admiralty, these pirate court systems, this pirate illusory university system, this pirated religion the fiat currency, the distraction of success, celebrityism, scientism, garbage. Eating garbage, eating the flesh, eating what you're just eating the illusion. Complete separation. Eating your demise. Shortening the divine lifespan, which is your divine physical vessel. Your vessel is a divine nature. This is what the New Age is all about. It means to separate you from the divinity of your physical beingness, and then just say, oh, it's just stars. We're just connected to the Pleiadians. You know, it's all about the Pleiadians. Don't you watch Ancient Aliens? And then you get Eric Von Däniken, he's going on there, he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of Ancient Aliens, and he tells you that we have the stars who come to stop people in the space. Where the fuck are these spaceships then? Like, what is all this? No, but it's written on the walls, with you only looking at one story. All these stories are connected to the human ancestor story. But they don't want to look at it. It's the aliens. The aliens are coming down. Get to the choppers. It's this whole half-ass version of your reality. That's why they won't go into the ancient astronaut theorists profess, or this is what we think, and we're smart. We have a fucking television show on History Channel, so you got to believe us. And we got the people with different voices from all over the world, and they believe this stuff from ancient. They'd write books in the 70s, and you gotta. It's ridiculous. But this is another version of the separation. Taking it further, all the way up, expanding it. International control. If you are locked into the hot dog reality, slave mentality, then you'll be okay with this separation program amplifying itself to be in control of you. So that's basically it. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.